This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 18th day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Vice President Barra Jagdeo has made it clear that investigations into the allegations of corruption in the Guyana Police Force and against Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus will be free from internal and external influence. At the press conference today at his party's Freedom House headquarters, Mr. Jagdeo said recent allegations of corruption against senior officers of the Guyana Police Force are worrying for the image of the force. However, he noted that the government is prepared to get to the bottom of the issue in order to clean up things. A few days ago, Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben hammered the top brass of the Guyana Police Force and raised concerns about alleged procurement fraud within the Guyana Police Force. The Home Affairs Minister said the government is not prepared to tolerate corruption in the police force since complaints against senior police officers have been mounting. Today, the Vice President confirmed that the complaints and allegations will be investigated by the Special Organized Crime Unit of the police force, and he promised that such investigations will not be corrupted.
And I can say to you that at SOCO, there'll be no pressure by anyone in the police force because the President himself is looking into this matter and all these matters. There'll be no pressure by anyone internally to alter the course of this investigation or any other investigation of malpractices anywhere in the country or in the police force.
There have been calls, especially from the political opposition, for there to be an external investigation into the operation of the Guyana Police Force and the senior officers serving the force. But Vice President Jagdeo today said SOCO is well equipped to take care of any such investigation and will be leading the charge.
In this case, we got SOCO to do it. That was set up by the law to do that. In relation to Brutus, there are allegations of corruption against Brutus. He's on leave and SOCO has been ordered to do the investigation by the government.
Mr. Jagdeo said caution must be exercised when dealing with the question of the police force. He said the entire force cannot be painted with a single brush because of bad behavior of a few. The Vice President said once an officer is found in the wrong, he or she must be held accountable.
But having said that, we don't want to vilify policemen too, because somehow people believe it's an open season on policemen. A lot of them do a great job and they're hard-working people serving this country. And we must not, for the purpose of politics or for ratings or to get a good newspaper article, vilify people in the police force.
Mr. Jagdeo said the issue raised by the Home Affairs Minister about procurement fraud is an honest issue that has been worrying the government of Guyana. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Jam, hello we jam and jam up. Hello we jam, hello we jam and jam up. Beat it like a fan.
Let's tell you now that bombastic social media talk show host Mickey Rodriguez, also known as Guyanese Critic, and his They Break News company have been ordered by the High Court to pay a total of $52 million to businessmen Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed in default judgments related to a defamation case. In the ruling that was handed down by Justice Nigel Niles, the court granted the default judgments, which were sought by the attorneys for the Mohammeds. The judge ordered that Rodriguez and his They Break News pay damages totaling $22.5 million, along with punitive damages of $3.5 million to each of the Mohammeds. In relation to the damages, the judge broke it down by ordering the payment of $7.5 million for defamation committed on the 17th of February, another $7.5 million for defamation committed on the 1st of March, and a further $7.5 million for defamation committed by Rodriguez and his company on the 14th of March, all in this year. The punitive damages relate to defamation committed on the 17th of February, the 1st of March, and the 14th of March 2024. Justice Niles also granted a permanent injunction restraining Rodriguez and They Break News, whether by themselves, their servants, and or agents, from uttering, repeating, posting, printing, publishing, sharing, reproducing, broadcasting, or otherwise disseminating either by video, audio, broadcast, print, social media, or by other electronic means the offending words, utterances, statements, and publications of words, utterances, statements, or publications similar to those in the offending broadcast. It was further ordered by the court that the order of damages bear interest on the sum of $22.5 million at a rate of 6% per annum from the date of filing to the date of judgment, and thereafter interest at a rate of 4% per annum from the date of judgment until fully paid. Rodriguez and his company have also been ordered by the court to pay the claimants Nazar and Azruddin Mohammed a total of $250,000 each in court costs. In the lawsuits against Rodriguez, which were filed in May, the Mohammed stated that Rodriguez at various times in February and March of this year, during his morning program, defamed both the father and son. It was explained that in the case of the father, Rodriguez played several voice notes of him on his live online program and later made derogatory remarks against him. The senior Mohammedan court document said he was offended by multiple statements made by Rodriguez during his talk show, but particularly took umbrage to Rodriguez, insinuating that he is a criminal. Mr. Mohammed also submitted to the court that Rodriguez made statements to the effect that his family was financing the teachers' protests back in February. According to the businessman, Rodriguez, in another program in March, told his audience that the Mohammeds destroyed many lives. He said he was also offended by other statements made by Michael Rodriguez. Similar claims were made by the younger Mohammed, Azruddin. The father and son were represented by attorneys from the Punai and Punai law firm. The Mohammeds were recently sanctioned by the U.S. government along with Government Permanent Secretary May Thomas in an unrelated matter. They were sanctioned by the U.S. for allegedly dodging hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes and under-declaring their gold exports and allegedly being involved in a bribery scheme with the Permanent Secretary. Two senior non-commissioned officers of the Guyana Defense Force, a staff sergeant and a sergeant, are in police custody after they were arrested along the east bank of the Marara roadway with a large quantity of marijuana in a vehicle belonging to the Guyana Defense Force. The two, Staff Sergeant Adisa Higgins and Sergeant Colvis Sam, were busted at around 3:50 this morning at Land of Canaan on the east bank of the Marara, with several large parcels of marijuana stashed in the back of their military vehicle. The marijuana carries a total weight of 154 pounds. The two, who were dressed in their GDF uniform, were immediately arrested by the police and taken into custody. The Guyana Defense Force has been notified of the arrests. Both suspects belong to the Motor Transport Unit of the GDF, which is responsible for the force's transportation fleet and their maintenance. In a statement, the Guyana Defense Force said it is committed to maintaining the highest standards of conduct among its ranks and does not condone any behavior that undermines the trust and confidence reposed in the GDF by the public. The GDF also said it is fully collaborating with the police to address the matter. The force said it wishes to reassure the public that the incident is an anomaly and does not reflect the character and dedication of the men and women who serve the Guyana Defense Force. The GDF also said it remains steadfast in its mission to protect and serve the people of Guyana with the highest level of professionalism and integrity. Earlier this week, a police rank based in Linden was arrested with a large quantity of marijuana along the Suzdijk-Linden Highway in a vehicle. Well, 3 months after filing drug trafficking charges against former national cyclist Tyrone Hamilton, the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has withdrawn the charges. Hamilton was charged and remanded to jail back in April in connection with a 150-pound cocaine bust that took place at the Chetty Jagan International Airport. He was eventually granted bail after his attorneys applied to the High Court. In a surprise twist on Wednesday, as his trial continued at the Diamond Magistrates Court, the Kano prosecutor informed the presiding magistrate that the Drug Enforcement Agency no longer wanted to pursue the drug trafficking charges against Hamilton. News source understands that Kanu was forced to withdraw the charges after a witness in the same matter could not identify Hamilton as the person connected with the seized narcotics. Two workers at the Chetty Jagan Airport were charged and remanded to jail in connection with the same drug bust. The two were held after they allegedly attempted to load 2 suitcases with the cocaine on a British Airways aircraft that was being prepared for a flight to London via St. Lucia. Kanu had issued a wanted bulletin for Hamilton along with another man, Gavin Anthony McKee, in March of this year, following the arrest of the 2 airport workers. While McKee has never been arrested and is suspected to be out of the country, his wife was initially held, but she was released without being charged. The former national cyclist Tyrone Hamilton surrendered to Kano investigators 1 month after the wanted bulletin was issued for his arrest. The charges against the 2 airport workers remain in place as their case continues.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that me crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster. Grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Bust the flavors. Bust the flavors.
The Guyana Police Force has issued wanted bulletins for two men in connection with the shooting of 6-year-old Jeremiah Gustav in the Charlestown community. Wanted bulletins have been issued for Odell Garnett, also known as Crab of Charlestown, and Marlon Marcus, also known as Mice Man, whose last known address was in All Boys Town. On the 7th of July in Charlestown, the two men were involved in a shootout with each other. And during that shootout, 6-year-old Jeremiah Gustav, who was sitting with his mother at her food stand, was shot to the head. The young boy was rushed to the hospital and remains in a critical condition. He has still not regained consciousness. The police in the wanted bulletins said both Garnett and Marcus are wanted for attempted murder. It is alleged that it was Marcus who opened fire on Garnett, and Garnett returned gunfire as he ran from the area. The young boy was hit in the crossfire, and his mother has been calling out for justice. 2 days ago, she appeared on News Source with a plea for the authorities to issue the wanted bulletins for the two suspects. The first bulletin was issued the very next day, yesterday, while the other one was issued today. The People's National Congress Reform has announced the appointment of party member Sherwin Benjamin as the new General Secretary of the party. Benjamin was chosen by party leader Aubrey Norton. He replaces Member of Parliament Dawn Hastings Williams, who resigned from the position of General Secretary last month. In a release this morning, the party said it held its first Central Executive Committee meeting following its biennial Delegates Congress last evening, where a number of issues were discussed. The release stated that party leader Aubrey Norton, under the authority granted to him by the party's constitution, announced the appointment of Sherwin Benjamin as the party's new General Secretary. The party said Benjamin brings a wealth of experience and dedication to the PNC, having been involved in the party since 1997. He has held various positions within the Guyana Youth and Student Movement, including Group Chairman, Regional Vice Chairman for Region 6, National Executive Committee Member, and National Treasurer. Additionally, he currently serves as the Regional Representative to the PNCR Central Executive Committee for Region 4. The post of General Secretary is the highest administrative position within the party, and the holder of the office is responsible for the day-to-day administrative and other functions of the party. The PNC Reform said it is confident in Benjamin's ability to serve in the position. The government has moved to the National Assembly to reform the country's marriage laws to provide both husbands and wives with equal rights. The Attorney General Anil Nandlal said on the proposed legislation, the Matrimonial Causes Amendment Bill 2024, the government hopes to remove existing discriminatory provisions so as to bring the law into conformity with certain fundamental rights guaranteed under the Constitution. Under the Principal Act, the court may order that a husband must pay maintenance or alimony to his wife upon the dissolution of their marriage. But the High Court recently found that provision to be discriminatory based on the grounds of sex, gender, and equality. The Attorney General said the bill now seeks to address this anomaly in a legislation that is over 100 years old.
There were many rights which women did not have 100 years ago that women have now. And as a result, there were certain facilities that men could not enjoy that would be considered offensive now, where you have equality of gender and the right to equal treatment irrespective of gender, race, religion, class, stature, etc. So in an environment where equal treatment is now a guaranteed fundamental right, you cannot have unequal treatment. And throughout this legislation, women were treated differently from men and men treated differently from women. And throughout the Act, we have now changed that wherever we found this inequality of gender, and we have now changed the language to ensure that there is gender equality and equal treatment.
The bill also proposes to amend other provisions of the Principal Act and specific sections in the Summary Jurisdiction Act, which only provide for maintenance and protection of the property of a wife. If passed by the National Assembly, it will also see the removal of any provision related to restitution of conjugal rights, a concept that the Attorney General said is not only outdated but has been abolished in many countries.
In our Matrimonial Causes Act, there is something called restoration of conjugal rights. What that means is if there is a break in conjugal rights or a breakdown in conjugal rights, meaning living parties living together and they have a dispute and they become estranged, one of those parties could have approached the court and get a court order directing a restoration of those relations. It didn't matter that the two persons can't live together anymore, that the marriage has broken down irretrievably, that there is great fracture in the relationship and there are irreconcilable differences. One party could have gone to the court, in particular the husband, and get an order to make the wife come back in the matrimonial home.
He said while such provisions may have been legally, socially, and culturally acceptable more than 100 years ago, they are no longer acceptable.
Currently, a husband can be charged for raping his wife. That didn't exist 100 years ago. So, essentially when you are directing, when a court is directing the restoration of conjugal rights, the court is also authorizing that man to have sexual relationship with that woman even though the woman may not be consenting. Today, that is rape, but that's still in our law.
The government is hoping to secure the support of the opposition in passing the bill, which is seen as long overdue. The proposed legislation was laid before the National Assembly during the last sitting on the 8th of July.
Hey Guyana, are you ready for an African explosion of culture as the African Culture and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 2024, featuring premier cultural acts from top Guyanese groups, South America, the Caribbean, and around the world. Come, let's celebrate the culture of our forefathers with African food, history, fashion, innovation at Guyana's biggest cultural festival. August 1st in the National Park. Gates open at 10 a.m. See you there. Harambe, we all pull together.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Be another car, or is it a house?
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole Lincoln Market.
Get ready for the 3rd edition of Blankets and Baskets on August 4, 2024. The Maltino's ground comes alive with Guyana's best entertainers and a vibe that can't be matched. Come for a chance to win numerous prizes, including the grand prize of a... Tickets are $6,000 with other special luxury packages from $40,000 to $120,000. It's the Blankets and Baskets Extravaganza. For more information, check out Blankets and Baskets on Facebook.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive, and all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jams Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st, the big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Grenada intends to introduce fiscal incentives in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl to support the rebuilding and repair of homes and structures, as well as the activation of businesses. According to local officials there, the fiscal incentives will come into effect on August 1. Hurricane Beryl destroyed 90% of the buildings on the islands of Carriacou and Petite Martinique and damaged homes in northern Grenada. It was also announced that the government will implement a waiver of all taxes and duties on all relief supplies imported for personal use up to December 31, 2024. The contents of these boxes could be foodstuff, clothing, and household items. However, households will be limited to 2 barrels or boxes per family. The Grenada Disaster Relief Fund stands at EC $3.9 billion as of July 17, following the ECCB's $1 million grant. The president of Bolivia, Luis Arce, has announced the discovery of a huge natural gas field. President Arce said the field had a capacity of 1.7 trillion cubic feet, making it the biggest discovery in the gas-rich country since 2005. Natural gas exports are one of Bolivia's main sources of income, but production has been dwindling in recent years. The president said the new mega field would revive Bolivia's ailing gas industry and spell a new chapter for the region where it was discovered. The head of Bolivia's state-run energy company, YPFB, called it a new exploratory frontier. And finally tonight, international news. President Joe Biden faces new questions over his candidacy in the November election, with his campaign events currently on pause due to a COVID-19 infection. The top 2 Democrats in the U.S. Congress, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, are both reported to have met him individually to express concerns over his bid for the White House. Nancy Pelosi, the former House Speaker, has also privately told him that he cannot beat Donald Trump in the November election, according to CNN. Mr. Biden's re-election attempt was already being buffeted by growing dissent among top Democrats after his disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump last month. Announcing his COVID infection on Wednesday, Mr. Biden's press secretary said the 81-year-old was facing mild symptoms. He would isolate at his home in Delaware while carrying out all of his duties fully, said his press secretary. She added that the president was vaccinated and boosted. He has tested positive for COVID twice before. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.